Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Thrashers Paradise. I am, of course, the Thrash man, Colin Sterling, and today I'm joined with a very talented drummer. His name is Justin, and he is the drummer to the band Immortal Guardian, which just released their, I believe, fifth studio album, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's my first studio album with them, but it's their fourth. So fourth studio.
I got ahead of myself. I went ahead a couple of years. Jeez.
Yeah, two EPs, one full length, and now this is the second full length.
Great. Well, we are joined with Justin, who's making his Immortal Guardian debut on this latest record that just came out yesterday, Friday, February 12th. Because tomorrow is Sunday, which is Valentine's Day. Makes sense. Now, this album I keep talking about is called Psychosomatic, right?
Psychosomatic.
Psychosomatic. And I just gotta say, I listened to it all yesterday. Holy shit! It is a very well done, great album.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm gonna start with a compliment. I just gotta say, what I love most about this album is that every song sounded completely different, and I got a different band to compare each different song to. Like I heard some Dream Theater, some Stradivarius, and even some Ex Mortis, and just a wide range from all of these songs. And I just gotta say that is very awesome that you were able, or the band was able to just make each song. I don't know about other listeners, but be able to find different influences throughout each of them.
Yeah, it was quite a challenge with this album because I'm not sure if you're aware that we don't all live in the same place. I'm the only Canadian in the band. The others are from the States. So writing an album actually about the whole pandemic was a little challenging when we weren't able to be in the same room and sit down and actually write while the whole process was done throughout the internet. It was a really fun experience, very challenging experience, but we are very happy the way the whole album came out. We put a lot of time, a lot of work into it. Like everyone, it happened so many times that here in Montreal we went, well, not many times, but like 2 or 3 times that we went in lockdown. So it was easy for me to just be like, all right, I'll stay home, start working on work the album out, and just go back and forth with Gabriel, our guitar player, like sending short videos, clips, and ideas that we had for each song. Like it would get very how could I say this? It was a longer process than if we would have been all in a full room together, sitting down and actually writing the album. But like I said, the pandemic threw us some curveballs, and we managed to get through it. And we're really excited. We're really excited and happy the way this album turned out.
Yes. Now, the first thing I want to ask you is, for you personally, which song are you the happiest or most proud of the way it came out on the final release of the album?
The one that I really... That's a good question because I had fun writing each single song. So to me, I don't really have a favorite, and I enjoy playing them all. But the one that I actually, if you want to say my favorite song, it would actually be Psychosomatic. That was fun to write. And actually, no, wait a minute. Read Between the Lines was actually very interesting song for me to write because it kind of had like some key elements of like in a way for me, like it was like an Italian feel, like the intro, like kind of like a tarantella style, like for vibe. And for me, like I'm Italian, so like that was pretty cool that we kind of had like that feel involved in it, and brought me a lot of like joy to write that song. But all the songs that I wrote with these guys, it was fun, and I like them all. It's very very hard to pick my favorite song, I would have to say.
Now, on the topic of difficult and hard, for you personally, which song did you feel gave you the hardest time throughout the entire recording and writing process?
The hardest song I would have to say would be Goodbye to Farewells, because that one there was I tried to do something not different, but I tried to think more like on their old album stuff that they used to write. So I tried to give it more of their old feel drum wise, while incorporating my personal feel as well at the same time, which was a little bit of challenging, but was still. I ended up getting what I wanted, the results of how I wanted it to go. I sat down with the band. We were going back and forth, like I said, with video conferencing, like Zoom, sending like short little snippets here and there. Luckily, we all have our own little home studio, so it was able for us to pre-prod the whole album very easily, and it was the easiest way for us to send everything out. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much that one. That was like one of the hardest ones that I really focused on, because I wanted to have some like cool bass drum patterns. I wanted to like focus on a lot of different elements on drums on that song there.
Awesome. Now, I think I think it's pretty inclined of me and pretty obvious for me to say, but this is probably the most relatable album I think all the metal community can truly understand as a whole, with it being about the lockdown and the entire COVID situation. So my question to you is, out of all the tracks to come off of the album, which one do you personally relate to the most?
The one that I relate to the most, it would be Phobia, because it's been a lot of. Phobia is about everyone getting like it's very like it gets like you're hearing everything that's going on around you, right? You don't know what to believe. You don't know what's right, what's wrong. And yes, there is a pandemic going on out there from the beginning of from yeah, the beginning of 2020 in March till now, still today we're still fighting this thing. And every day there's something new being said, some new discovery. So everyone is pretty much worried and frightened and doesn't know what's the outcome that's going to happen. And any little sickness that you get, like let's say you just have a random cold, like a regular flu, you're going to think automatically in your head, I have COVID. I have COVID. Or so I'm not feeling 100% because I ate something that my body didn't feel right. Oh, I have COVID. I have COVID. Like phobia, it's about being scared of what's going to happen. What are you doing? How could, no, not how, but the reason of, okay, I'm getting my words mixed up here a bit, but
That is totally fine. I do it all the time.
um, phobia, pretty much, we're all scared of the outcome. and we want everything to get back to normal. So any little thing that we're hearing now gets us very agitated, very nervous. We don't know what to expect next. So anything that you get hurt, you get sick from any other type of sickness, and the first thing that comes to your mind, did COVID affect it? So it's something that's stuck in everyone's mind. And that's the reason for me why phobia is one of the reasons, because I've gotten sick a couple of times during the pandemic that had nothing to do with absolutely COVID. And those were the thoughts that were going through my mind. Is it COVID? Is it this? Is it that? We don't know. And trying to go to a doctor and get evaluated, the first thing they'll tell you, you have these symptoms. Is it COVID? Is it this? Then you have to do a COVID test. It's scary. It's a scary process.
No, you are absolutely right. Now, I want to gear things more towards the actual physical album artwork because I do have to say, it is very beautiful. I love the work of the colors of teal and purple, something you don't really see often metal bands use when it comes to the album covers. Now, my question to you is, what made you all as the band collectively decide on this is the album we want to go with, and who is the creative genius behind it?
Well, Carlos, our singer, was the one that took care of the artwork with an artist. We kind of gave our thoughts. We kind of were deciding if we wanted to have a person or a girl in the front cover, or we were trying different solutions. And then at the end of the best looking one came out to be the one with the girl in front, that she's all chained up, and then you see a brain upside down, chained. Hence the word, the title, Psychosomatic, meaning your brain is going, how could I say this? Psychologically. Everyone is psychologically not getting messed up, but everyone's mind is starting to think more, and we're trying to wonder what's going on. So that's the reasoning with the brain in the artwork. It's to represent that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of information being thrown. We don't know if it's real information or misleading information. And we're trying to, with our music, we're trying to make people know that, yes, there is a pandemic, but we could get out of this. Mm-hmm. There is a way. There will be a bright light at the end of the tunnel. We will get through this. We're just hoping that eventually we'll be able to tour this album very soon.
So, hopefully, indeed. And I hope you do come to Toronto. I know it's not your neck of the woods, but would love to see you guys live.
We were actually, our tour that was postponed was actually, we were supposed to play Toronto the day after Montreal.
Oh.
Yeah, that was last year. So Toronto was on the list, and we're just waiting to get the green light to say, okay, touring is resumed. Let's go.
Yeah. Now, was that the tour you were on with Power Glove?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
We were supposed to hit the road with Power Glove a week before all the borders shut down.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
was supposed to meet up with everyone in Boston for rehearsals, and then our first show was supposed to start off in New York.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is very
fun tour. Very fun tour.
Well, like you said, hopefully you get the green light soon enough and you can get back on the road and start touring, and hopefully maybe we can even meet and get a drink or something. Yes. Now I've been on the Facebook page and I've seen the updated cover, and a lot of people are praising this album and are very, very much loving the outcome of your final product. And for me personally, I'd like to know for you, are you surprised with the amount of positive reaction you were getting, or did you know that this album was going to be something special?
I am surprised. I was actually very nervous because my first time putting out an album with an international band. So I did not know what the outcome was going to be like. And seeing all the reviews yesterday and today, it's mind blowing and it's amazing seeing the great results that we're getting out of this album. Uh, we worked hard on it. We actually did have another album we were supposed to release before this, but we found it wasn't like it wasn't right to release that album right away. So we ended up putting that one on the shelf for the time being, and we ended up writing one about the current state of the world, which is this one here. And honestly, I think we did. Personally, I find we did a phenomenal job. I'm getting calls from friends. I'm getting messages on Instagram and Facebook. A lot of people are loving it. I'm really happy about that. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to like it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's fine. But you know, this is what we love doing. It's what we pictured, we threw out there, and it's doing very well. We're really happy about that.
Yes, no, it's as I said earlier, it is a truly stellar album, and definitely to the people watching this video, if you haven't given it a listen to yet, please do. I don't think you will regret it at all. If you love power metal, you're going to love this because it's not only just power metal, but it's so much more. There's so many different elements to it, and I think that's what makes it truly stellar. Now, as you mentioned, this is your first album with the band and all this. For you, did you feel a lot of pressure when it came to creating the album?
Yes. Because because at the end of the day, like, I'm not the main writer. It's Gabriel and Carlos that do mostly the writing. And they gave me leeway to write all my parts by myself at home. And when I would write all my parts, I would make sure that each section I would write multiple parts. So I would give them like options. Okay, the chorus, I have it either this way, this way, this way, or this way. Or I would try sometimes incorporate two ideas and smash them together and seeing if it would work. And then me and Gabriel and Carlo would go back and forth. If I would show you the amount of emails, videos, you would start freaking out. It was crazy. The amount of work that we put into this day and night. It was honestly fun. I had a lot of leeway of writing drums. At certain points, Gabriel would tell me, he's like, you know what? I like this part, but try doing it a bit more power metal feel vibe. I'm like, cool. So I would do it the power metal feel vibe. And then after I would throw in another section with my own feel into it, and then we would mix and match and see what would sound better. So yeah, it was challenging. It was a bit stressful because writing with people with a bunch of crazy talented people is it was insane. It was an insane moment, and very happy with the results.
Awesome. Now, for you personally, this is a personal question. Now, as a drummer, what is your go-to style?
My go-to style, I'm into a lot of gent. I'm into
Okay.
a lot of new metal. I grew up with listening to a lot of Korn, Slipknot. Those are like my two top favorite bands. I also love listening to Periphery, and I'm also a huge metalcore fan. So I have a lot of all those elements that I try to incorporate into writing with Immortal Guardian while throwing in the power metal feel into it as well.
Now, as a drummer, were you familiar with the power metal drumming style before joining Immortal Guardian?
Yes, but I never really studied it as well as I am now
Mm-hmm.
because I was more always into like the metalcore and the new metal scene. So that's what I would be more playing in my hometown bands. But do I do I got more knowledge into it, I, and I'm trying to incorporate every single style that I know, plus learn new styles. I'm also trying to get into like rap and hip hop just to get the a groove feel, like to try to stay in the pocket while drumming
Mm-hmm.
and keep my timing. It's all timing is one of the most important things about being a drummer. You have to have the time. You have to always practice with a metronome. My metronome is my best friend. I'm always on it. Every time I'm recording, practicing, regardless, I always have it on. I'll always set it up the tempo I want it. It's key. Timing is key for everything. You don't want you want to play a song and then your tempo is going up and then going down, up and then down. It's it's not gonna feel right, the song. You want to try to keep it exactly. Obviously, when you're playing live to when you're practicing, you will fluctuate because the adrenaline kicks in. So your body wants to just go ham sometimes on stage. It's happened to me that I'm playing with a click track, and it's happened from time to time that I end up losing the click a bit, and I'm slightly off because I went a little too fast. And I started practicing that more often and trying to keep my tempo, trying to control my my adrenaline on stage because you don't want to start drifting off the metronome, and then after it's going to throw your, if you're playing with samples especially, that's going to throw your samples off completely. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to throw the whole band off too. So you have to make sure that you're always constantly on time, which is the key thing for being a drummer.
Now, as you mentioned, it is important to be on time through drumming. In real life, outside of the drumming, are you on time for stuff?
I actually am. I am very punctual with timing. Very. It happens from time to time, like everyone else. Like no one, like it's happened to me. I've been late for work from time to time, but I always try to be 10 minutes early. Like when I was working, I would always try to be 10 minutes early, so
Mm-hmm.
that I'm always on time. Even when I tell my friend, like when I would go out with my friends back in the day, okay, we're going out at this time. All right, I'm there. I'm there at that time. I don't. I'm never late. If I'm late, it's rare or it's because something happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure that I'll contact where I'm going. Okay, I'm a little late because I had a flat tire or I ran into an issue or whatnot.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for answering that for that one. I have one last question to ask you, and it's a question we ask all of our first-time guests on Thrashers Paradise, just to test your metal knowledge a bit. So, if you'll indulge me, please. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Sorry?
Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy or God? Huh. That's a good one. So do I want to go to hell or do I want to be okay? Depends what type of fight, though.
Oh.
What kind of fight is this?
Ooh. Let's say a hockey fight. It's a hockey fight.
Ooh. I would have to go Lemmy.
Yeah.
Because God, like, okay, I'm not saying anything to bash God or whatnot, but God is more like the down-to-earth, chill guy. So why would he get into a fight? He would try to stop it normally, right?
Yes.
There you go.
That is actually very logical thinking. I appreciate that.
You gotta narrow it down at sometimes.
Very, very true. Justin, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to come with me, to come join me on Thrashers Paradise here to do this interview. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people that are watching this on YouTube?
Thank you for having me on this channel, and I hope everyone likes the album. And let's all work together and get rid of this pandemic, and hopefully we could all start going to shows and being a metal family again.
Yes, hopefully very soon. And until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing.